Hey guys, I hope you're having a really great day. What are y'all up to? I'm just getting some acceptance on here really quick while we get into the flow of things. I want to talk about morning routines because if you have been following me for like any length of time, you know that morning routines are my jam. And simply because I truly believe that the activities you do in the morning, the design that you have laid out for yourself first thing, that's really going to dictate the energy that you carry on through the rest of the day and the kind of like situations that are going to arise. And the more that we notice that we can have sort of like control on how we want to move forward with the rest of our day, the better kind of days that we can put forward for ourselves. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay out two different scenarios for you guys, okay? Because this doesn't just happen overnight. For me, there's two sides to this story. There is Shailene with absolutely no morning routine, or even if you want to go farther and I'll accept some responsibility, like maybe just a wild morning routine, and then Shailene with like a really intentional morning routine. And I'm sure if you're tapped in any way, shape, or form, you're really going to feel the difference here, okay? So let's go first off, Shailene, with this wild morning routine, okay? This was probably like 5 years ago what my morning routine looked like. I was working 3 jobs at the time, okay? And I would get up and I would be like flying out of bed at 5 o'clock in the morning, and I'd grab a cup of coffee and I'd be off to my first job. And I would be like filled with anxiety before my feet even touched the floor. That is probably the easiest way to describe it, because I would just like open my eyes. My mind would be kicked into overdrive because I'm such a high energy person. And then just everything from the day before that I allowed to bother me would just flood me all over again. From head to toe, it would just be anxiety, okay? I would likely pick a fight with my boyfriend at the time, who's now my husband, bless his heart. I would likely pick a fight with him as I left the door. And that's how my day would start. And if you have experienced anything like this before, you'll probably know that that energy, that anxiety, that overwhelm feeling follows you for the rest of the freaking day. And throughout the duration of my day with the other 2 jobs that I attended to, I just started to pack in more frustration, more anxiety, more overwhelm. And then I would come home and resume said fight with my spouse. I would start another one. I would never be able to like unwind and relax because I always felt like there was more to do. Okay? And we're just going to leave it at that because we've been able to release that over the years. But I'm sure that paints like a pretty clear and vivid picture of what can happen if you just like wake up and instantly are on the go. Like now what happens and what my morning routine looks like is way more intentional, and it allows me to be aware on how I want to move throughout my day, and my list of to-dos can be a mile long. That doesn't change as human beings, but I can attack that with more of a clear-minded perspective, a realistic idea of what it's going to take from me or from my spouse or from us together in order to achieve the end result of getting everything completed. And now what I do is I wake up, so I set an alarm sometimes, like I try and be out of bed before 6 o'clock in the morning because that's what feels good to me. I'm naturally a morning person. But if I don't, it's okay. Like it is okay to honor rest and sleep in. I make my way to my special space in my house, which maybe you want to call it an altar, maybe you want to call it just like your sacred space. It's literally a nice little comfy corner in my office where I sit and I apply oils with intention of whatever the day is going to be, okay? Today was enthusiasm. That was the intention for the day. Sometimes it looks like calm. Sometimes it looks like openness or excitement, like whatever the word is for you. I just make sure that I am really intentional about aligning my activities with how I want to feel that day. Because when we dive into how we want to feel, we can be really discerning on what matches that and what doesn't and what we can let go of. And especially women, Okay, especially us as women with natural rhythms in our body, natural cycles. It's important for us to stay tuned into that energy and use it as like a compass on what activities or what commitments we're going to give ourselves throughout the day. And I have reflection questions as I'm laying in bed and getting myself ready and doing some like in bed stretches in the morning. I'm always sitting down and wondering about what I want to reflect upon for the day, because I'm a writer. I like to use words. I like to communicate with myself, and I write that reflection question out and I journal about it. If you follow my stories at all, if you're part of our community, I share those journal prompts with you guys, because I think the more that we know about ourselves, the more we can uncover and figure out about ourselves, the more authentic we can become, and the more we can proceed through life shining that genuine, authentic light on things, and we can like match with our true tribe. That's what this is all about, right? This life is about experimenting and finding your people. 100%. Vanessa says, on days when I even take a few moments to lay out the day, I feel so much more in control. That feels so good. Especially those of you with children. Like, it is important when we have other people in our lives that we have to answer to or speak for, or have responsibility for. It's important that we lay out what needs to be done, so we're not just flying by the seat of our pants. Every morning now too, I know that I thrive on connecting with other people. That's part of my personality type. That is part of who I am, and it fills my cup. And what I do is I jump on a Zoom call every weekday morning at 10 o'clock with our team. After I do these parts of my morning ritual, like nourish my body, I stretch, I move in a way that feels right, whether that be an intense weightlifting session or yoga or skating or a run. There's like so many different opportunities there just for movement. I proceed through my day. I make a list in the morning of 3 must-dos. Okay, that can look like business things. That can look like things I need to clean up for the day. That can look like places I need to go. It doesn't matter. But my 3 must-dos, and I just attack those first thing. Because when I get those out of the way, those are my minimums. Those are my must-dos for the day, and I can just like relax if I choose to. I can do more if I choose to, and I can feel good about the things that I've made happen, that I've done. We all have the same hours in a day, but what we choose to do with those hours is what can help us proceed farther in life or really hinder us back. And providing myself with a nourishing morning routine has really helped set me up for success. And now I get to move through my days with ease, with comfort, with feeling a little bit more in control of my emotions and myself. And it also, when I do have crazy days, it makes me take responsibility, because maybe I didn't set myself up for success, and I can reflect on that and make changes to do better tomorrow without any judgment. We're all just human here trying to figure out the best way to live our lives. And I think that this is important for us to talk about, because so many people are on that autopilot. They're in that autopilot stage of their life where they're just getting up and going to where they feel that they're committed to go, without any sort of like awareness or intention or understanding of what the big plan is, what the next step is. And it takes being disciplined enough to do it 1% better every single day. I didn't just wake up one day and have this amazing, perfect to me morning routine. No, I woke up one morning and said, what's going to make me feel good today? And I did that one thing. And then I woke up the next day and I asked, what's one thing that's going to make me feel good today? And I started to experiment with those things. And before I knew it, we're 5 years down the road, and I have this perfectly crafted routine that fills me up, makes my soul shine, and gets me ready to attack my day with all this extra energy, with all this enthusiasm, with all this positivity, and this want and hunger to do more. And so now what I'm wanting to do is help other people establish that morning routine. But I'm curious, it starts with understanding, like, where are we at right now? Where are you starting with your morning routine? And you have to be totally honest with yourself. You can share it in the comments below, or you can send me a message if you just want to have a talk with someone else who understands where your starting point is, because I've been there, okay? I've been the person on autopilot who flies out of bed with just throwing pants on to run out the door to their job, not really taking time to consider how I want to feel throughout the day, just allowing myself to feel everything and how heavy that can end up being. So be honest with yourself. Where are you starting, and what's just one thing you can tweak to make your mornings better? And maybe it's about having a little bit of a nighttime routine even to set your mornings up for success. I like to have a glass of water filled on my counter with a energy supplement I put beside it ready to go. So when I wake up and I'm on my way to go feed my dogs in the morning, I can grab my cup, drink some water, take my energy supplement, and I've got water in before coffee. I know moms who set the coffee pot at night so that in the morning it's ready to go for them and they just have to hit start. It just takes us being aware and making the commitment for ourselves. It is important for us to put ourselves first, and you just have to believe in yourself and feel that you're worthy enough to make these changes. I am nothing but I don't know, I guess this is what I want to say. I don't know what moved the needle for me that made me decide I was worthy of taking care of myself first. But now that I look back, and I see that girl who's just hustling and going on autopilot throughout her days and allowing no control for herself whatsoever, I feel sorry for her. And it encourages me to show up for you and remind you that you're worthy of loving yourself too. And you're worthy of creating a routine that makes you 1% better, and that makes you be able to level yourself up a little bit every day and fill yourself with the intention that you want to feel before you go out into the world and serve other people. Because if we're not the best versions of ourselves, we can't help other people either. I want to know what your biggest takeaway was. Or like I said, if you're comfortable, where are you at with your morning routine right now? And what's one thing you're going to do tomorrow to make it a little bit better, a little bit more you, a little bit more authentic to fill your cup?